Good morning.
So this is the beginning of week 3.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. What's the clinched?
The Leafs clinched their playoff spot last night by beating the Montreal Canadiens.
Which is expected or unexpected because there was nobody else to play except Canadian teams.
Well, expected this year because they're doing so well, but
Are they doing well?
they're in first place in their division.
Wow.
A lot of people are predicting they're going to do very well. I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Judging by previous results.
Exactly.
Right. So this is the morning after, and unfortunately, I was going to say I'm happy to say, I'm not happy to say, but the results came in with no sales.
No.
So that's that beta ran its course, and today I'm going to send out an email asking people whether, like, what was the challenge for them? Like,
Yeah.
was it the price? Was it the offer? Was it some? Oh, God damn it! Keeps playing. Was it the challenge? And so basically, try to find what is going on with my camera. What is it so hard to focus?
There you go.
It now gets the white balance okay. I mean, most of the time when I go on Zoom, I'm fine. But,
yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, so now it's unpacking the launch. I'm going to get all of the numbers. I'll try to get all of the numbers aligned just to see how much was spent, how much was all of the stats basically,
yeah.
And just to see what it looks like. And now I think. No, I'm not thinking. I know for sure that the next one I'm going to do is going to look at analysts. And one of the things is I like what you said yesterday about talking to them, because I don't know if people are going to be inclined to pay for the bigger program, and then I'll have to be smart about pricing it. Because it might very well be that this time I did not get signups because of the price. But I was also going by the fact what you said. Like, you need to charge the amount that you would be happy to get to do this.
Yeah.
So that is the unfortunate result of the first about 60 days since this went live.
Any well, I guess you'll find out. I'm just, one thing that popped in my head was there too much value already in the beta program for these folks to then, you know what I mean? Like, if they came to learn about their niche, they already got what they came for. Do they need
Oh, I see. So you're implying, if I understand you correctly, that when you call when you call something, find out about your niche, and then you deliver on that, it's kind of like checkmark.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily lead into anything else.
Yeah. I'm just, instead of giving them a nibble of the cheese, did you give them the whole chunk?
Yeah, I actually like the cheese thing. One, he talks so very well.
Yeah, I know he's great.
Really well. It might be, but then there's it's also an interesting dilemma, because on the one hand side, if you propose something bigger and you don't deliver on it, people may be upset, saying like, look, this feels like a bait and switch.
Yeah,
you're right. If you say something and you deliver on it, that might be like, promise complete, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I do believe that I had a very strong arc, in a sense that, look, you have your niche, which is great. Now do something with this. And this is what this program is supposed to give you.
Well, I just don't, like, to me, I guess what I'm getting at a little bit is your beta test felt more like a true test of the actual course versus a lead magnet webinar kind of thing that would lead people into buying a course.
No, that's an interesting point. in which case trimming down the number of lessons really should help, because then it kind of gets you going, and then you want to do more.
Yeah, like I don't know what your program is, how they position the whole thing. I just think of like what I went through with Amy Porterfield and with Talia recently. I mean, it's only a 1 hour or 2 hour webinar experience that feeds you into wanting to buy their course. But like these people had like 2 full weeks of like access to all kinds of content, plus office hours, plus like they basically got the experience of being in a full course. Which is fine, because when it's called a beta test and positioned that way, that's what it feels like to me. It's like you're testing the waters with the actual like course, like, and I don't know, like how much, like what haven't they seen that's in the signature program that they were going to be buying?
Nothing. They haven't seen anything in the signature program, because the signature program is supposed to be the operation. Like a niche is you're essentially deciding what you want to focus on.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've decided. Now what? And now what is the signature program?
Yeah.
But your point's well taken. There is a part of me that wants to try to sell the nail a niche course into as a short program on Facebook, like for $17, for example.
Yeah.
And see if that gets people in, because at least if those conversions do occur, then you have the ability to recoup any spend on the ads.
Yeah. Is that like, that sounds really cheap to me.
To who? Maybe
just
27.
like,
I'm seeing. So the gold price is $27.
Yeah.
27.34 is everything. I'm seeing a lot of ads now in my feed.
Yeah.
So more than I care to admit, but I'm now interested in them just because I'm interested in how they work.
Yeah.
So from a professional standpoint, and I'm seeing the $27 to $34 is kind of the golden spot.
Yeah.
All have well-developed sales pages, all long-form sales pages on them. I'm just going to do that.
You know, I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around, on this end of the spectrum, $17, and on this end, $2,500.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I know
that might be the case. In this particular case, it was free $2,500.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're only just guessing what people are thinking or saying, but I just wonder.
You know what? To your point, if I kind of play out the thinking and what your words are triggering in my head.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to go all the way to the highest price point.
Yeah.
What if you do start at a lower price point? What if this was a $499 course?
Yeah.
Probably would be an easier conversion.
Yeah.
And then you get more testimonials, and then you get a good run through the course, and then you optimize your material, and then you can up the price.
Yeah.
Technically, that's good. But my biggest challenge with this beta, although price might be, and I may find out that price was the sticking factor.
Yeah.
My problem was not that. My problem, quite obviously, was the fact that I did not get enough beta testers.
Right.
My numbers just could not work out. I mean, that's the truth. 100 people in a beta test is the bare minimum. And ideally, like from Jenna's perspective, ideally, you're looking at 500 to 800 people.
Yeah.
And that's not impossible. I'm seeing people who are reaching like 300, 500. Hold on, I'm just going to close the door.
Sure.
We have this conversation every morning, and every morning I forget to close the door. I should have learned by now, right?
Yeah.
But that is the one thing I did not achieve in this particular one, is not being able to generate enough interest. And even the interest that I did generate, like the one that was ad driven, was not quality interest. In other words, they were not engaged.
Yeah.
So for me, I need affiliates.
So
I need affiliates who would be driving people to this course.
Is your sense that the market just isn't big enough, or you just didn't tap into the market?
That is a very good question. And I'll be honest, I do not have an answer to it, because for each point that you mentioned, I have an opinion. I don't know if that's opinion. Is it right or not?
Yeah.
There's one thing that I do know for certain, and this is kind of reinforced by my conversation with that lady who's doing this in Europe, is there are few people who are like you, for example. It still rings in my head what you said about the fact that your coaching business, what you're doing right now, is what you will be doing as your job for the rest of your working career.
Yeah.
That is a bold statement. And I'm finding that a lot of nutritionists who do not make it right out of the gate kind of flounder and put it on the back burner, and then get a job somewhere else, maybe close proximity, but they're not trying to make it work.
Yeah.
They're just put up a website, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. They put something up and then hope that people will come.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because when I was a real estate agent, I took that course with the guy who is all based on NLP, but his one of his statements was to position yourself as, I want to be your real estate agent or real estate consultant for life. Like those are the relationships he's like, that's what he was coaching you to build with people, that, I'm going to help you buy and sell your home now, but I want to be your real estate consultant for life.
Mm-hmm.
And back then I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this for my whole life.
Yeah.
So I was setting myself up for failure, because I was never truly in, what's that?
10 people that I wanted to get out of this course. I had 2 sticky notes on both of my screens.
Okay.
But yeah, so
but yeah, like in mentally, if you're not coming to it from that place of, this is it, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're like, there's an NLP, I don't know, what do you call it, a saying that the prover proves what the thinker thinks. So you've got, different aspects of your consciousness or whatever, but whatever your thinker thinks is what your prover proves. So if you think you can't do something, then you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's why there's part of the language is like, if you don't know the answer to something, or you don't know where your keys are, you lose your keys. It's like, well, what if you did know where they were? And it's like putting yourself in the frame of mind, like, oh yeah, I know where, like, I know that somewhere in my brain knows where my keys are.
Yeah. That's true. And then we get to the question of whether or not you want to fight the good fight and have people essentially. Back to the question?
Yeah.
Do you want to change people's perspective, which is a different business?
Yeah.
Or do you just either mold your offering to what people will be responsive to?
Yeah.
You just move on.
Yeah. What's to say? Like I think about like Amy Porterfield and all these course creator people. Like they're signing up hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Again, like, I mean, all these statistics are statistics for a reason. Like, 98% of these people that sign up for those courses probably never do anything. Like they might create a course and they put it up and it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't sell to them and still try to help them out. I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, it's the value of what you've done isn't diminished by the fact that nobody bought it. Like you've.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, you know what? I'm not thinking it. I'm not thinking about it in those terms. So I'm not beating myself up about what happened, what didn't happen. It's what I would like to know. My signature program needs to be. If I don't have anyone buying into my signature program, should I be developing it? Well, the answer is no. You're just doing something that is interesting to you, but nobody wants to buy it. But then I'm thinking, if I do this little program and package this up into something that's sellable, what's the carrot at the end? And it might just as well be that I create a membership at the end. And I don't need to sell people into a $2,500 or $1,000 program. I sell them into a $37 a month membership. And that becomes the bump at the end, or even the bump in the beginning. So that's the plan for today. So I'm unpacking the launch today. I'm doing the sales page for this course, and we'll see how that goes. I've reached out. Oh shit! I need to respond. Hold on. Let me just make a note because I'm quite forgetful lately. Through my course, I was introduced to a lady who does Facebook ads for a living. And I want to reach out to her and find out if there's anything that she can help me with specifically on my ads. Teach me most of it, because I mean, I will lose access to Jenna's course at one point in time, although she did point out that although my contract says 90 days, says, we're going to coach you until you make your money back. So it's a very generous offer, which I'm going to take her up on.
That's interesting, because I know, like, I think in my course, I think I have lifetime access.
I think this is more or less the same in terms of almost lifetime access. There's no reason why they would take away. It's just would you be able to have access to the coaches? And you need to put something in the contract. Because it's when you put time in the contract, it makes people do shit.
Exactly. Well, it's the same with making people pay money, right? Because if you don't pay, then there's no motivation. I think I was telling you the story of it when I took that self-hypnosis course. The guy was talking about helping people quit smoking, and he said if people don't actually quit, it means you didn't charge them enough.
Yeah, that's true. Remember yesterday I was talking about moving my site content from one site to another. And then I think I was listening to your cheese thing or something kind of tripped a wire in my head. And the logic was, why would I do that? Like, what's the impetus for doing that technical stuff? What's hurting me? I mean, if I'm doing the beta test, it's irrelevant for me on which platform I do the beta test. Because I can lead people to a particular course in my environment. Whatever courses are out there beyond that course is really irrelevant. Because they're getting a beta test, so in other words, what I came to realize is I sometimes create obstacles for myself as to why I can't do things. And you talked about that, and they don't really exist. So the fact that I said, I needed to port one WordPress instance into a different one, clean everything up in order to be able to run. No. Some people have no website whatsoever, and you still can do the beta test because you're doing it mostly in the Facebook group and over Zoom. It's just that realization made me kind of go like, wow, how mind works in very peculiar ways. My ads are finally running.
So I've seen at least two different versions of it on Instagram.
You have? Oh yeah. Oh, did you see my video last night?
Yeah.
So you were the one who liked it.
Yes, I did like it.
Merci buckets.
It was good. I was even forced my wife to watch a few seconds of it because I was trying to explain to her, although she didn't know what Linktree was, so it wasn't much use. But I was showing her, like, we were talking about this like 2 or 3 days ago, and then boom, you've created it, and now you've done a video on it. Like, it's great.
The amazing thing is, Greg, it really doesn't take any effort to create.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just a series of call to action buttons with URL links to them.
Yeah. And no, because there's virtually no styling involved, you just add the buttons and that's it. As long as your page is responsive, in other words, it doesn't mess everything up when it goes to mobile version.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
I actually need to upload my video to Instagram because one of the things is Instagram is a good platform for this.
My Facebook boost got approved, so that's running.
Yes.
I think last night I spent $2.65 or something and had 97 impressions. I don't know, but so then I decided I had another post with my sell your home. It was stress-free home selling. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll boost this one too, and I did, and then it got rejected.
So real estate is tricky.
I think that because it says free or something, maybe that but it's stress free. Like, it's not like I'm not giving away something free.
You shouldn't say free, and especially in all caps.
Yeah, it's not okay. Anyway, I got to submit that. I got to look at their policy, and then I might submit that one for review as well. I mean, I really didn't intend to do any work. I just thought, well, I can just click a button here and see what happens. But
yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. Because I think I've got good products. I just need to figure out the right cheese to get people to them.
Well, okay, in the spirit of coaching, and this is less coaching, this is more critiquing because I haven't mastered coaching yet. So let me ask you this question. Do people know that they have to stage their homes or improve their homes before they sell them? Like, is this the natural inclination? Have they been hearing that from anywhere beyond you?
Yes, I would say so.
And you know that how?
Well, I'm an avid HGTV watcher, so in the last 10 or 15 years, there's all kinds of shows about this.
Okay.
B, from when I was in real estate in 2007 to now, from just looking at things online, it's way more prevalent now than it used to be.
So awareness is there. Let's give it a check mark.
Yeah.
Is there a desire to do anything about that? In other words, in people's lives, especially because you're in Toronto and most of I know your ads are seen across the world, but let's just stick to Canada, not even Toronto.
Yeah.
In the environment when people are being bombarded with messages that all you have to do is put your property up for sale and it's going to fly off the shelf at the highest price.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an inclination that people would buy this?
Yeah.
Or is it a detractor in this marketplace? And if it is a detractor, then what would you change in your positioning to make it an absolute must?
Yeah. I don't know. I got to think all that through. I mean, I know it works. B, I know even for people like the experience I had with my sister-in-law when I was starting my business before, I phoned them up and said, I'm doing this business and you're putting your house on the market. I'd love to come do what I do. and they're like, well, we already fixed the house up. We think it's, and the agent came by, said it looked great and stuff. And then I went over with my process and things, and I still came up with, 2 or 3 days worth of work.
Yeah, because the agent would say that.
And implemented it, and they saw firsthand what a difference it made. So, yeah, I mean, there is an uphill battle in terms of you're kind of going against the realtor a little bit, which is part of my whole story about how every $10,000 in price difference means $250 to your realtor, but it means $9,500 to you. So who's supposed to be more motivated to do it? So you're right. Like there are obstacles and things that I got to narrow down and find the right audience. There's also a certain level of like a tier of houses. Like this isn't for, millionaires who are selling multi-million-dollar homes, because they're not going to get their hands dirty with this kind of stuff. It's more for middle class.
Yes. So then, in terms of that, what would your ad say? What's the transformation at the end that the people will get? And park the money side.
Yeah.
Got it. Like, I mean, that's the stone cold. But what's the feeling? Like, why would they? So what, in other words, I'm trying to say, what problem are you solving? Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to, so I have Talia's questions in my notebook. Let's see.
So that was the latest video I did was stress-free home selling. So
what pain does the customer feel before finding a solution?
Yeah, they're stressed out. They're worried their house isn't going to sell. They're going to be stuck with 2 mortgages. They're not going to get. True? Is that true? Yeah. Well, there's 2 scenarios that happen. One is people buy their new house before they sell their old house.
Yep.
And then they're stressed that they're not going to sell.
Okay.
And be stuck with 2 homes. Or they sell their house first and they have to buy a house, then they're stressed out that they're going to have nowhere to live. And the whole, I don't know what where it ranks or whatever, but it's kind of like losing a loved one, losing your job, and selling your home. Those are like the 3 top stressors in somebody's life. So like the latest thing I was trying to get at with this was, how do you take the stress out of the whole situation? It is, if you know that you've done everything that you could do that was in your control, then you don't have to stress out. The chips will fall where they may. You'll get what you get, but you know that you did everything you could. That's stress. That's how you make it stress-free, knowing you did everything that was within your power.
Okay.
That was the angle I was going with the most recent iteration, which was based on the notion of what is the problem that you're trying to solve for people. And then the other problem is, there's an angle of like, you don't know where to start. You don't know how to organize yourself or prioritize, like all the things that my process takes care of for you. It walks you through step by step. So I was actually thinking recently to do, based on what you've been doing, is to do a beta test and run an ad and solicit, are you thinking of selling your house, or are you selling your house? To do a beta test of the whole course, not with the intention at the end of selling them the course, because once they've done it, it's gone, but just to get the testimonials and get the proof points and do the research. Like I haven't done the research. So answer everything that we've just talked about is all, I won't say it's entirely out of my head, because I've had experience in the industry and in implementing my process with a handful of people. So I know, I have real life experience. So it's kind of, it's the same as doing research.
I know it's not based on, and no one can argue that this is based on pure fiction because you just came up with this. No, it's obviously it's not. The one thing though is, so every beta test starts. Remember, I did those interviews where I gave away $5 Amazon cards.
Yeah.
And that's an essential steps before you jump into the ads.
Yeah.
And this is what makes me comfortable knowing that what my solution is something that people need. It's just for whatever reason, it's not. It hasn't transpired. So, there's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's a different challenge that I'm facing.
So I'm going to get to all this probably the week after next, or depending how next week goes, maybe later if it might become deprioritized. Because like my guy texted me this morning just confirming what time zone I'm in, so we can set up the meeting for next week to talk about the app. So like everything to do with my course is maybe put on the back burner depending.
Yeah, it's just like everything goes flush.
Depending how that conversation goes.
Well, that's, you know what, if that goes well, really, that's fantastic. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm working today on the proposal. So there's a bunch of different options that I've come up with.
Are you going to walk him through a deck or something, or just talk to it?
Yeah, that's I had preparing a deck, but for the most part, the deck is going to be mostly for my own reference. It's funny because in yesterday's coaching call, it was a great call because, was I telling you this last night when I talked to you? I can't remember. Yesterday afternoon. Anyway, the one guy he has 2 clients that he's met with and done the enrollment conversations with, and now he has to send them a proposal. So he was getting coached yesterday on how to put together a proposal, and that's where the guy went through his 5 questions about the Goldilocks price and all this stuff. But he also got to the point of like, how do you present your proposal to the person?
Yep.
He suggested, he goes, you can do slides. He goes, I generally try to stay away from sharing my screen with the slides, because he goes, I want to be in connection with the other person.
Yep.
And it's hard to connect with the other person if they're not looking at you, but looking at a slide. Now he goes, I say that
like a true pro. Like I respect that. But
he goes, I say that like it's a rule, but it's not a rule, because he goes, who knows? I could be on a call with somebody tomorrow and put up a slide. So you kind of, because there are some things that you can't just, it's easier to explain with the visual. Anyway, so for the most part, and what I'm trying to do too is I'm trying to incorporate everything that he's been teaching us into the way I approach trying to sell to him. And
sure.
In other words, like, use his own methods against him, or yeah. So like, that's why I'm trying to tie it back to like, why should he be interested in this, right? So I'm tying it back to his mission and his vision.
Shit. Hold on.
Camera shut off.
Yeah. What?
And what is his cheese? Like, what's the incentive for him to do this? Now, I suspect, like in the proposal, I'm proposing that it becomes some kind of a monthly charge
for him,
for his community, that you would sell it to the end user on a monthly basis. He may want to incorporate it as just part of his overall program, that when you sign up for his 11,000 pound program, which I would totally understand, because I know like the story, or the analogy I have is, my wife and I went on the Disney cruise for our honeymoon, and we did like 3 days or 4 days at the parks, and then 3 days or 4 days on the cruise. I can't remember which. It was like the week was split up. But when you get to the cruise ship, they're like, oh, you can have this bottomless cup for your soda for $15. And it's like, I paid $5,000 for this cruise, and now you're going to ding me for another $15. Like, why didn't you just charge me $5,015 up front? And when I walk on the cruise, you go, here's your free drinks.
I always wondered that. I always wondered, what are they thinking? And
like in this, I've been married 20 years, and that still pisses me off that I had to shell out an extra, $15 each, so $30 for a cup. Anyway, so he may decide he just wants to incorporate it into his thing, in which case the fee, he would be paying me a fee.
What's your fee?
Based on the usage. Well, the I got to figure out the math, but my thinking going in was the core app would be $5 a month per user. And then there's I think it's for, it's either $1.50 or $2 that I have to pay to Glide per user. So then say it's $2. So we would each split the $3, $1.50 each.
Why? Oh, I'm challenging you because I'm going to say, like, why would you get 50% if you're just basically repackaging my knowledge?
As opposed to getting more?
It's a good rebuttal, but that's one of the things that gets you shut down. But sure, you can be a wise ass about it.
Yeah, well, because I view it as a partnership that, yeah, you have the content, but you don't have the platform. I have the platform.
You just told him what the platform was, for heaven's sake.
No, I know.
He's going to go on Fiverr, get somebody to do it on Glide. No, the thing is, I'm asking sincerely. It's not supposed to put you off. It's just like, what is it that 50% gets him? And I know that $1.50 is nothing, but he has a massive audience.
Yeah.
But I mean, if somebody asked me, one of the responses is that, like any tech, the biggest problem is when it stops working. So I am the money that's going in my pocket is really to make sure that all of your clients have an awesome experience.
Yeah.
I would also give them the option of bringing it in house and buying you out, but it's not like part of the first conversation, because really, what's your moat? Remember the concept of a moat?
Yeah.
Like what's stopping anyone from doing the same thing themselves?
Yeah. Nothing really. I mean,
no, absolutely nothing. But the thing is look, it's not you trying to make money off his back. You're just trying to create an experience that enhances all of the empire that he's built.
Yeah.
And you're taking it onto yourself to maintain it. The one thing is, if you do use that argument, then it may backfire, because he's going to say, Greg, that's fantastic. I like hearing that I don't have to, like, my team doesn't have to get involved. Perfect. And how many years of tech experience do you have?
Yeah.
It's like,
I have 20 years of experience building.
20 years of bullshitting people.
Well, so here's a takeaway I took from, I was thinking about this morning. So when I watched Miguel's interview with the CEO of Glide.
Yep.
So Glide's goal is to create 1 billion software developers. Right. So I was in the context of what he's talking about. I've actually been a software developer since 1995. I've created so many apps on Excel, Microsoft Access. Now, I didn't use coding to do them per se. I mean, some level of coding with Excel macros and things, but for the most part, using no code interfaces. Like everything I created a category management tool, an ad planning tool, a store development tool. Even at Pressima, I created a support tool to
emotional support tool.
No,
was that the time when you were beating me at table tennis?
Yeah, for the support team to manage all the incoming data questions we were getting.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. So I have 25 years. I have 25 years of legitimate software development experience.
What I think your stronger point might be is you didn't just develop. It's not about even software development. It's 25 years I have spent focused on what people use. Not how it's developed, not the background, but actually what people use and how to make their lives much less complicated.
Yeah.
And yeah, are there software developers with great accolades and certifications? Absolutely. The problem is we all know that developing a piece of software that no one uses is just as useless as not developing anything that people want.
Yeah.
That didn't come out right.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at Wrangle.io, they had a skeleton sitting in an office chair, like a plastic skeleton, and it had a sign around his neck that said, I've created so many things that nobody ever uses. Something like that.
Yeah. No, I think that, you know what? I don't think that this conversation is going to go the way of anyone grilling anyone.
Yeah.
If he is.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, taking his own approach is like, I have an idea and I'm going to make him an offer. And he's either going to take it or he's not.
Absolutely.
And if he takes the idea and decides to do something on his own, that's fine. I mean, it's the same risk that, any company, like press them every time they go and do an RFP or go do a demo or whatever.
I wouldn't even call it a risk, but it's.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like people could take what you show them and do it themselves. But I don't know. The reality is most people don't have the big selling feature for Jamie, I think, is other than like putting it on his program and maybe talking about it a little bit, he doesn't have to do anything. He just keeps doing what he's doing. And this tool gets created and distributed to as many people as possible within his community, and he collects a big chunk of money.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you're absolutely right in a sense that we're here sitting. What's it called? Playbooking all of the possible interactions. When in reality, it's way simpler than that. It's just, look. Here's what I think. Here's what I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it or not?
Yeah.
I think it's that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to strategize because it's interesting to just.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious to see.
The more I've been using it myself and building it, and the more I'm involved, like even the conversation yesterday, like the more value I can see this being for people in the program to have at their fingertips kind of a laser focused way to get to specific content of his that doesn't exist right now. So I'll give you an example. Like he just went through yesterday those the 5-question model for how to price your proposal.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the app, that model. So like if I'm working on a proposal, instead of trying to figure out, oh shit, when did Jamie talk about that? What video was that on? Where in this hour and a half long video was it? It's like click. Here's the 10-minute audio and the visual of that model.
And then you're gonna send them the preview ahead of time?
Not ahead of time. I'm gonna while I'm talking to them, I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna explain the concept of what I'm doing, and I'm gonna say the best way to do this is for you to actually interact with the app. So here, I'll send him a link, or I'll put on the screen. Actually, was what I probably will do is they have a QR code. So I probably just put on the screen the QR code and say, scan this with your phone off the screen. Install the app on your phone, and now you see what you think.
Powerful. It actually engages the user right off the bat.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the advantages of Glide as a platform is that there's instant iterations and instant, and if he says, I don't really like this color. Okay, what color do you want? And I could change the color, and it would change on his phone instantly.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
No, this is going to be, I think this is really going to be awesome. This is going to be, quite amazing. And one, if nothing, it elevates your experience with him to a completely different level than just a course taker.
Yeah.
This can go so many different other ways.
And I mean, I'm not trying to leverage the fact that I've just shelled out $10,000 to him but I mean, it's a good reason for him to meet with me and to give this a chance. So
there's nothing wrong with that. If you paid that much money for this kind of meeting, and it works out.
Yeah. Here's and I don't know how I'm going to. I thought of this story. So I don't know if you, in the grocery stores, if you've ever seen in the bakery, they had a machine, they called it poppers for a while, and then they changed the name to brogies, but it was basically a machine that was, I don't know, maybe this big. And it basically took like a little spoonful of wheat. I think it was wheat based. And then it puts it under pressure and it spits out a disc that's about, I don't know, 5-inch diameter. And it's like a low fat, it's like almost like a rice cake, but it's not made of rice, it's made of wheat. And then they had a corn version as well. But when I was at Sobeys, we launched this program. So these guys came in to show us this program. And I didn't even want to take a meeting with them, and my boss knew them or something. So he's like, yeah, I'll just meet with these guys. Anyway, and I thought, this is like, what the hell is this? This isn't a bakery item. Like, you're not, anyway. It ended up being the #1 item in the bakery.
What?
Yeah. It was the #1 selling item in the entire bakery. It was I don't know, whatever, forget the numbers. It was millions of dollars of sales a year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I wouldn't,
essentially your point is you never actually know.
Yeah. It's like, what do you have to lose? Like this is the what do you have to lose story. Like, let's do the beta test with 20 users, get their feedback, see what they say, see what features they like, what features they would want, and how much they would be willing to pay for it.
It's true.
What do you have to lose? You got nothing. There's nothing to lose.
There's absolutely nothing to lose. No, that's right.
So.
No, that's so the meeting's it's not on the books yet.
No, he just texted me this morning asking me what time zone I'm in. So
yeah,
I know he was on a 3-day intensive coaching thing with a client this week, because he did our laser coaching session from there yesterday, and today is the last day of that meeting for him.
No, that's.
And there may be a number too. Like I personally, like I've for years, I've had this vision of creating something that has a perpetual income stream.
Yeah.
Right. He might say, oh, this is great. How much to just buy it? So then I got to come up with a number.
How many people does he have in his course?
I don't know. There's like there's a Facebook group for Clarity Life that says 5.7 thousand people in that group. Mm-hmm. But I know like he's talked in the past about like he does things and it goes out to, I remember him saying 80,000 people are reading his articles. So imagine that his audience is 80,000 people and growing at, let's say, 2% a year, 5% a year, yeah,
and maybe even 10% a year.
Yeah.
So if the adoption rate of an app is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 50%, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
50% is just went through the course they've already forgotten about it. They're not it didn't touch them as much as it touched, for example, you.
Yeah.
So let's say it's 100K, just for ease of calculation. 50,000 people download it. Yeah. 50,000 people pay a recurring, $5 a month?
Yeah.
And the cost of a user, so you're really splitting $3?
Yeah.
So okay, so let's see, 50,000 people paying you $1.50 multiplied by 12. That's $900,000.
Yeah.
$1 million. Million is not that much. Oh, $1 billion.
Yeah.
Reasonable? Unreasonable?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going in that high. Like the only number I know is a real number is what I see on the Facebook group, which is 5.7 thousand people.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm going in more thinking like, if you got 1,000 people to start with.
Here's the thing. There's something to be. So you said a user on Glide is $2.
Yeah.
Does it go up or down with scale?
No, you can. I need to talk to them. Like online, it's $2 or $150 a user. I can't remember what the different plan was, but like I think you could probably talk to them and get it down to like $1 a user, maybe. Either way, like I mean, they deserve they're the platform. They deserve their chunk of the money too. So
no doubt. The question that I have is, again, back to that $15 cup, endless cup.
Yeah.
$5 a month. Why would you change that? Why would you charge that? Like, why would anyone, like, would you pay for a $5 app if you're on with Jamie, like for what, 3,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Would you? This would be just a bonus, right?
Possibly. I don't know. I think this is what you got to test, because I think it's an added value. I mean, you can position it as, hey, this is a new thing, and people would understand that there's a cost to having new technology, whatever. It's a service that is people are accustomed to paying a monthly cost for. So I don't know where his head's going to be at. Like, to me, even if he's incorporated it as a bonus into his program, I would say he would want it adds value to his program. And I don't know what his year over year price increase is, but like he's gonna take the price. Like I wouldn't just add it on as incur a cost of this new thing without recapturing that money somewhere. Now, the other thing these are all ideas that him and I will have to vet, but like, when you sign up for his course, you get the app for free for the 12 weeks you're on the course.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fee comes after once the course is done, then you pay the monthly fee.
Well,
or you get it free for a year, or I don't know, 3 months or 6 months, or there's all kinds of ways you can slice and dice it.
Yeah. What would it cost to have the app for life? You know how they do, like you can pay $29.99 or $19.99 a month, or you can pay $2.99 and have it for life.
Yeah.
Would there be an offer like that? Not that we have to solve it. Like really, this is not what's on the table right now. On the table right now is just have a conversation that can lead to something or may not lead to anything.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the way I look at it is that, again, I keep coming back to, I mean, and somewhat selfishly, generating a perpetual income stream.
Yeah.
And even for him, like he has these expensive courses, but once people go through the course and they're done, then in order for him to get more money from those people, they have to sign up for another course. Like this is a way to extend the income stream from each person that takes his courses into perpetuity.
True. No, absolutely no doubt.
And it's I don't know, it's such a low amount. I mean, the other option. So there's the $5, and I got to think about this too in terms of pounds. So I got to do a little bit of research on conversions and look at different things like how much is a Netflix subscription and things in pounds versus dollars.
Right.
Just to get my head around it, because I say $5 because that's a familiar unit to me.
And you're also saying probably Canadian dollars. Which...
Yeah, he's in the UK, so like maybe it's £5, which is more like $8.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 2 pounds. I don't know. I got to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, there's a.
I think, you know what, it's just a realization is coming in to me that we went down the rabbit hole. We're already splitting money that doesn't even exist yet.
You know.
And I think if the question comes up on a call as to, well, what if you sell it to me right now? It's like, Jamie, first of all, that is a fabulous offer, which I didn't even think we would get to this point.
Yeah.
I would be happy to consider it and come back to you with a number, or you can tell me what feels right for you.
Yeah.
But I would take a pause right now, because the first thing I wanted to do is gauge your interest in this.
Yeah.
Now, a salesperson might say, whoa, that's a bad answer because you didn't seal the deal.
Yeah.
But short of you having an answer, but I think plopping a number like $100,000 on the table is.
Yeah. To me, the deal I'm looking to seal is less about a sale and more about the beta test. Can we get 20 people to test this out?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that this, you know, this is literally.
I think that's the right strategy, Greg. I think that's the right strategy to go with.
Yeah. And even talking about money and splits and whatever is all around until we do the research and do the beta test. We don't know. Like, we might do it and people go, yeah, fuck, I'd pay $20 a month for this. Or they might say, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I wouldn't use it. Okay. What would you use?
Yeah, relentless sales.
So anyway, I know there's something there. I know there's people will like it. It's going to have value. I think it furthers his vision and mission of engaging and helping more people. The other version of it was there's a $20 version I had in mind, which is the PLR version. So there's the app plus a supporting PLR site where you can basically get access to all the content and transcripts and things, and then use that on your site or on your own app, because that's a third component of this. Is then, do people want to build a custom app for their own coaching practice for their own clients to use?
That's a fabulous angle. That is a fabulous angle too.
So, because like I can see, like when you're coaching, right? And you're talking to somebody and somebody goes, oh, I don't really get what you're saying. Well, hang on. Like, you know, let's just use the cheese audio as an example. You know, oh, you're trying to market something. Well, here, let's listen to this and we can talk about this. And you listen to it for 5 minutes and then you talk about it. Or, you know, I don't really understand the three principles. What is this whole, you know, how our experience is created kind of nonsense? Oh, okay. Well, here, let's listen to it articulated by the master. And then we can talk about it. Anyway. So it's a tool for the coach, and then the app that they would give to their clients is more of an affirmation, reconfirmation, motivational tool for them. So it's the same thing. Like, how does your coaching live beyond just the 60 minutes you spend with a person once every 2 weeks or once a month? If you're on an app in their pocket and they can listen to you in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, we're almost at an hour, so we should.
It's going to be. I can't wait to hear the recap of how it goes down, because all of these assumptions is, again, we're playing with our heads. You haven't actually spoken to the person.
No, exactly.
Okay, an hour it is. Let's pack this in. So hopefully it happens next week, because this is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I'm going to be, I'm willing to tag along, because you're going to have so much sales that junior developer.
That's right.
The only thing, it runs on Google.
What's that? Oh, it runs on Google. Yeah. Well, they're actually building their own native tables now, so it's It's good. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, man.
Bye.